Hey guys, it's Adam, Unleashed Wargaming, and boy is it good to be back. I got in another battle report. First battle report I've made since the birth of our third child, and it was fun. I haven't been able to play. I'm using Tomb Kings. I bought a Tomb King army before we ever had this new baby, and haven't been able to use it but twice, and we played little 1,000-point games just to help me get a hang of the new rules. And I've played Tomb Kings like 2, maybe even 3 times over the 20 years I've been playing Warhammer, but not with 8th edition rules. So looks like a great army. I love it. Don't see it being such a weak army like everybody says. I've heard Lord Tremendous saying the same thing. I know he just got a new army as well. And I've never seen it being so weak. I think people try and play it like other armies instead of Tomb Kings, and that really hurts them. But yeah, I got 2,500 points, Tomb Kings versus Orcs and Goblins. My opponent picked randomly between his 5 armies and got Orcs and Goblins. So it's not his favorite, it's not his strongest, but that's what he went with. So good deal. First picture. Yeah, here we are. This is a model that I am converting. It's I'm using it as my Hyro Titan. As you can see, it's Medusa's torso. I had to cut her in half and really do some work to make her work onto this Chaos model's body. And the scythe there that he's holding is I've cut the Chaos symbol. I cut most of the Chaos symbols off of him. I didn't want him to look like Chaos, so I cut the symbol out of his weapon there, and you'll see another angle. I made that more like an Egyptian snake-like weapon. Cut the symbols off his cape. Let's go to the next picture. Yeah, there he is from the front. You can see the one on his belt, the Chaos symbol. It's engraved, so I'm probably going to leave it, but I'll paint it to where it doesn't stand out so much. Yeah, you can see the snakes on the weapon now, the Egyptian more looking like Tomb Kings than Chaos. So, let's see, I think I got one of the other side too. Yeah, that's just the other side of him. So anyway, that's going to be my Hyro Titan. I'm making a custom base for him right now. He's just puttied down, and he's going to be standing on his own giant slab, and it's going to have hieroglyphics in it with my company's name written in Egyptian hieroglyphics, so that's very cool. So moving on, there's a look of the board before we start. As you can see, he's got his Wolf Riders already vanguarded. I had scouts, so he got the +1. He rolled a 6 anyway, so he got to go first. And I got some close-ups here so I can show you the army. Starting on his side, on my right, his left, the purple over there is Night Goblins. Looks like at least 40. 40 Night Goblins. He's got his BSB, the big Forge World one. Don't know what he's carrying. He's got a level 2 Shaman in there on the far right. All that smoke looking stuff, that's the Forge World Goblin Shaman. Not sure what he had. Of course, he took the Little Wog, but one of them had a Dispel Scroll, and I'm not sure what else they had. The blue guy in there, the guy holding the blue squig, that's another level 2 Shaman. He accidentally took 3 level 2 Shamans. He didn't mean to, but he found out after we started that he had it, so he just stuck him in there. Anyway, the black unit there are Black Orcs. It looks like there's about 20 of them. 21 maybe. 20 Black Orcs. He's got his general in there. The Grimgore model is his general. Then over to the left of it are the gray goblins. It looks like there's at least 50, 10, 20, 30, 40, maybe more than that. Yeah, more than 50 there. The painted model in there is a level 2, another level 2 Shaman. He's also got a boss in there, and he's got the sword that gives him an extra attack, I believe. And over on this far side here, right in front of those regular goblins, those are forest goblins or whatever, regular goblins. He's got a Goblin Hero on a giant cave squig. He's got 2 boar chariots. He's got the Arachnarok Spider. And then on the far left, he's got a big boss on the Wyvern. And he has the Trickster's Shard. He's got the Talisman of Preservation. and the shield that discounts the first hit on a 2-up charm shield, I think. But as you can see, his stuff is painted well. He hasn't used his goblins in his games. He has a big horde of savage orcs that he uses anyway. All of his stuff, he's got about 5 armies, and they're all painted very well. This is about the only thing he could have brought that's not painted. So, moving on to my side. Oh, I'm sorry. There's his Wolf Riders Vanguarded. Okay, now on my side, on my far right, I'll show you how sloppy I am, how I haven't played in a long time, and I haven't played Orcs and Goblins in forever. So I've been using Orcs and Goblins for about 18 years, and I just haven't played them in the past, 6 months, 8 months, and I've gotten so sloppy. You'll see my skeleton horsemen there on the far right. They're scouting up there. They're archers. I've got my War Sphinx on my right flank. The smaller unit there is a 20 Temple Guard, 21 Temple Guard, and I have my level 4 in there. It's kind of a expensive bunker, but I wanted them to be intimidated before they go rushing in to try and get my Hierophant. So that is my Hierophant. She has the Lore of Nakara, of course. She got the 5-up ward save, the Desert Wind, the one that makes everything count as dangerous terrain, and the one that's -1 to your strength and toughness. She has the Talisman of Preservation with a 4-up ward, the healing potion, so I'm pretty desperate to keep her alive. And she might have one other thing, I can't remember what I had on her, but anyway, it's probably not very important. Next to her is my Hyro Titan. Of course, he's got Shem's Burning Gaze and Spirit Leech. Next to him on the far right there, I've got 37 skeletons, full command. I've got my Tomb King in there, and he has the weapon that gives him Killing Blow, whatever, like the Eternities or whatever it's called. Anyway, I've got a Tomb Herald in there, and and my Tomb King not only has the Killing Blow, he's got the thing that makes you reroll ward saves, the other Trickster Shard. I've got a Tomb Herald in there with the Armor of Destiny, I think it is, the 4-up ward save armor. So he can absorb some hits for the Tomb King. I've got my level 2 in there using Death. I'll go over his spells in a minute. I've got 3 Chariots. I've got a Casket of Souls in the back. The Tomb Scorpion is the only proxy I have, really. It's a catapult, the Screaming Skull catapult. And then I have 5 more Horse Archers up here on the left flank to kind of keep some of those things from getting around too fast. Looking at my spells, that's the Hyro Titans, Shem's Burning Gaze, and Spirit Leech. And then my level 2 has Soul Blight and the Caress of Lanif. So, not what I wanted. I was hoping to get Doom and Darkness and put it on some of his big stuff and drop their leadership by D3, and then be able to hit him with the Casket. So, anyway. Alright, as you can see, turn 1, my sloppiness shows up. He moves his Night Goblins forward just a couple of inches, and 3 Fanatics come out. I totally forgot about Fanatics. So, 4 of my Horse Archers die. Fortunately, the other 2 Fanatics fell short, and I've got 1 left. That sounds like a terrible thing, but if I can do a big bubble spell, I might be able to just grow them all right back. If he had killed 1 more, that would have just been not game deciding, but it would have been bad. Over on this flank, things are looking bad. He shot those Wolf Riders up right past my fast cav. The Wyvern, the Wyvern up there, just flew right up. If I charge him, he's just going to destroy me in my turn and then be able to do what he wants in his. He's flying, so I can't really redirect him. So he's pretty much got free reign on this side with that Wyvern. Then he uses his other unit of Wolf Riders and shoots right up here past my charge arc. Remember, that Scorpion is a catapult, so I can't charge him with that. And yeah, so he's all up behind my lines now, not looking good at all. There's a look at the board after movement. As you can see, his Night Goblins moved up. His Black Orcs shimmied up a little bit, not much. They didn't want to get in that Blood Forest. Yeah, when his Goblins moved in, we found out that was a Blood Forest. So any spells hitting those units is going to do extra damage. His Goblins and the hero on the giant squig moved up. Both chariots moved up a little bit, and the spider moved around behind that building because they tried to keep it out of sight from some of my stuff and be able to just run right over that building and come get me. Tomb King's turn 1. These chariots, they have the banner of swiftness, and I saw that hero out there, and so I declare a charge against him. If he flees, he's going to go through the goblins and maybe panic them. So anyway, I take the chance. I had no idea that those weren't night goblins at this time. So once again, my sloppiness shows if those were night goblins, I would be charging my chariots through 3 fanatics. And fortunately, they're just regular goblins, and kind of spared me. Moved my horse archer up like this. I did not plan on taking these guys as redirectors, but with one horse archer, what good is he going to do? So I just moved him. I kind of wove him through those fanatics and brought him up here with the goblins. The hero on the cave squig fled, went straight through the goblins. They passed their panic test, and then my chariots rolled high enough and slammed into the goblins here. So, not what I wanted, but better than nothing. Over here, I took my horse archers and pulled them back. They're full, I think it's 8 inches, whatever it is. Pulled them back like this. So now the farthest unit of Wolf Riders doesn't have a charge, and his other unit of Wolf Riders has to either choose between the catapult and the casket. He can't get both of them in one turn at least. There's a look at the board after my movement. As you can see, all my combat blocks marched. They didn't march. They walked up about 2 inches. I hope they didn't march. And my Sphinx moved up close enough to where he could keep his stuff from moving forward. Get him in charge range, but far enough away that I'm not worried about the fanatics. Not that they would just crush it anyway. It's toughness 8 with 5 wounds. So, but still, don't want to risk it. In my magic phase, I got off the 5-up bubble, the 5-up word save, the big bubble, everything in 24 inches. And I did it with irresistible force. Did a wound to her, my Hierophant. Killed 2 Tomb Guard, which is amazing that only 2 of them died. And then I rolled a 1 to wound my Hiero Titan, so he was fine. So that's not bad. I mean, I would definitely take this to get the 5-up ward on almost my entire army. The effect, I rolled very well and got my horse archers back from the lore attribute. Okay, over here I had 1 chance. That wyvern's going to come back, destroy anything it gets into. But as far as my catapult, or if it got into my casket, it would probably wreck it and keep it from casting. Then he's behind my lines, and I just did not want that, so I took 1 shot with that catapult. Rolled a direct hit. In order for this to work, I would have to roll a direct hit, not scatter at all. Then wound, not the rider because he's got that shield, but the splash would have to wound the mount. And then he would have to fail his panic test and run away. And that's exactly what happened. I hit him. The shield went off and stopped it from hurting the rider. The splash wounded the mount. He rolled like a 11 on his leadership and fled, and the angle center to center put him right off the board. So, yeah, it was a huge chance. I've had this happen before. Sniped a Beastman General with the trebuchet, rolled a direct hit. He failed his lookout sir. He failed his ward save. I did D6 wounds and killed his general, and it was just crazy. But those chances, you'll miss 9 out of 10, but when that 10th one comes, it really pays off. I don't take credit for like a brilliant strategic play here, but boy, I tell you, it just saved the day. Over here, my chariots did a whole bunch of impact hits. He had nasty skulkers pop out, and I think they're they did one wound, and then the goblins over there did another. The goblins with spears actually did 6 wounds to my chariots. I had a 5-up armor save. I failed every one of them. Then I rolled my 5-up ward save, and that's my 6 dice down there. I made every 5-up save on those 6 dice. So, yeah, things are definitely going my way so far anyway. I mean, these guys right here, I threw them up there knowing that they're going to get flanks and all that kind of stuff. But if he does that, it's going to turn a whole bunch of stuff into my charge range. So, they did their damage. They've got that hero fleeing, and we'll just see what happens. There's a look at his dead pile. You can see I killed 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 guys and did 2 wounds with my spearmen. The guys on the chariot killed his level 2. So I got rid of a shaman and 10 goblins. That's not bad. And there's a look at the board at the end of my turn. In his, of course, he charged the chariot into one flank of my chariots, and his black orcs charged. I was really surprised with the black orcs. I knew that chariot was going to go in and do the impact hits and tear stuff up. I was really surprised that he brought his black orcs in there too. But yeah, he declares a charge with both of them. Of course, he charges my horse archers with the night goblins, which, yeah, I mean, that's one-sided, but it's going to prove to be in my favor. Over here, as Wolf Riders charge into my catapult. They want a little revenge for their big boss. And crunch, there's a look. Of course, both of those units made it in. They were basically auto. That was an auto charge. They made it in, no problem. And then as Wolf Riders charged into my horse archers there too. So we'll see what happens there. And he failed his fear check. So that's actually looking more and more in my favor. I killed one with a stand and shoot. You'll see they're down to 4. And now he's in on me needing 6s to hit me, and I only need 3s to hit him. So the tables might have just turned here. His chariot failed his leadership check, so he'll need 6s, except for the impact hits, of course, which is really all he needs from the chariot. In the combat phase, he has no shooting, and his shaman's in combat, the other one's dead, so I killed all 4 of his wolf riders, so that really backfired. And in this picture, you can see my horse archers there. After the combat, I reformed them to turn around and face this way for my turn. I killed 1 of his wolf riders. He did 1 wound to me, but because he charged, he won combat by 1, and I took a 2nd wound. I crumbled a little bit. Of course, here we did my attacks for the simultaneous, because everything was initiative 2, except for the boars, I think. We did my attacks, and then I just took them off, because even if he elected not to swing with anything, his 3 ranks, his 2 flanks, his banner, his charges, all that in the impact, I mean, he just crumbled me to death without even having to fight. So he chose to reform like this, turn the chariot back at me, reform the black orcs to face me, and I think that's the end of his turn. Yeah, there's a look at the board after Orcs and Goblins turn 2. And as you can see, he's right up on me. You see that Ragnarok jumped right over the building, and he's there to threaten my casket now. So, Tomb King's turn 2. Yeah, I just went for it. I figured he's going to charge me, and that's just more combat res, and that's what crumbles Tomb King. So I thought, go for it. And plus, I have a little plan here to protect my flanks. My Skeleton Warriors, Hyro Titan, and Tomb Guard declare a charge into his Black Orcs. My Sphinx declares a charge into his Goblins, because when they killed my Horse Archers and reformed to face the battle, they are now in the forest and no longer steadfast. So that actually worked out in my favor. That's not how I planned it. I did not put those horse archers there for that reason, but it worked out well. Over here, my horse archers charge into the flank of his wolf riders. And I pop my stalkers up behind his chariots. I don't even think I remember to mention that I had them, so surprise. But yeah, they pop up right here behind the chariots. I rolled a hit, so they came right up, no problem. In my magic phase, I threw the Casket of Souls, did 4 wounds to his Arachnarok. That chariot that's at an angle there, I killed it. Did 3 wounds to the other chariot, and then it stopped. So, not bad. Not bad. I really, really like that Casket of Souls when it goes off. My stalkers did their little stare at the other boar chariot and killed it. So now the threat of those things going into my flanks is gone. My horse archers killed 2. The wolves were unable to do the final wound on the catapult. So with a charge, a flank, 2 wounds, and all that, I was able to win combat and run them off. And then I reformed my horse archers like this to keep that spider from being able to charge anything but them. So now this 1 unit of horse archers has killed 1 unit of wolf riders, turned around, charged another one, killed them, and saved the catapult, and then reformed to redirect the spider. So they're quickly becoming a MVP over chaff. The charges here, the skeleton block, my bus, that's what I really wanted to get in to make sure he wasn't steadfast. They failed and only went like 3 inches. My Hero Titan made it in, my Tomb Guard made it in, and it was a bloody, bloody combat. I was stupid and didn't put any attacks on his general with a killing blow, but I killed 5 Black Orcs, and he killed, as you can see, I think he killed 5 of mine, my Tomb Guard, but he ended up winning combat by 1. So 1 more Tomb Guard died, and then the Hero Titan doesn't take a wound because of the construct rule. So he actually did that wound to him with a great weapon. Over here, this was beautiful. I love this War Sphinx. I don't know why anybody would take the Necro Sphinx over this thing. I charged in. The guys in the back with their spears were able to killing blow his level 2 shaman, killed him. I then, let's see, there you go. I did the Thunder Crush attack where he jumps up and smashes into him. Hit the BSB directly under the hole, wounded him, did 3 wounds, killed the BSB, put him out of there. And you can see back there in the back, I did, I think, 5 more wounds with the template. So then I did my breath attack with a 2d6, strength 4 hits, and then the Thunder Stomp. Yeah, there's a look at the dead pile in the back, the BSB, the level 2 shaman, and it looks like about 8 goblins dead back there. He's in the woods, so he's not steadfast, and he broke, and I almost got him. I think I'm 2 inches behind him, but the main thing there was getting rid of those characters. The leadership rerolls and the level 2 shaman are dead now, so that the Sphinx hasn't paid for himself by any means, but he's really helping out. Oh, and not only that, but now, like I was saying, my plan to protect my flanks against those Black Orcs, the chariots are dead now from the stalkers, so that one flank is protected, and now he is taking care of the goblins, and so my other flank is protected. So now the Black Orcs are on their own, and that doesn't mean that they're doomed by any means, but it's better than having both of my flanks hit. That's a look at the board after my turn 2, so now we're going into Orcs and Goblins turn 3. He charges with his Arachnarok and gets an auto charge. He rolls really high on his squig and jumps into my stalkers. I didn't know what to expect there. His goblins did not rally, rolled pretty high, and ran right off the board. We skipped his magic phase as nothing. He has no shooting because his wizards are dead and his shooting is non-existent. So we go into combat. This squig jumps over. He does 3 wounds with my 6 attacks using halberds. So I have 6 attacks, wounding on 3s because I'm strength 5 with halberds. I don't know how they have halberds because they don't have arms, but I guess they hit with their tails. 6 attacks. I do nothing. I do 0 wounds to him, and so I crumbled by 3 also, and that's what it comes down to. That's terrible. I lost 2 of these stalkers to that little goblin. Anyway, Over in the main combat, this time I do 3 wounds to him. Again, not placing any attacks on his general. He does 3 wounds to me with the ranks, banner, all that anyway. It comes up to he won by 1. So as you can see, my Hero Titan now has 2 wounds on him. My general has 1 wound on her. She drank her healing potion and got her other wound back. So now he's done another wound to her, and I crumbled by 1 again. And as a Ragnarok made short work of the Horse Archers, so they're all dead. There's a look at the board. After Orcs and Goblins turn 3, his Ragnarok overran into the catapult to finish it off. And yeah, still kind of a crazy game. It's still up in the air. I declare a charge with my big bus into that horde, and this is the reason I run them in bus formation. He can't get all of his attacks to bear on me to win combat res, and I have ranks, so his horde formation will give up steadfast. So I declare that charge there. I make the charge, get in combat. He issues a challenge, I think, with a Skulker, and I accept with my champion, and they are unable to hurt each other. Combat with my Tomb King and the other guy in there, the whatever he is, the Herald or whatever. I was able to do several wounds. I have more ranks. I have the banner anyway. He broke from combat and ran, and he rolled boxcars, and I rolled a 3 to pursue. So he did more than get away. He's gone. Over here, again, I could do nothing, and the little goblin on the squig kills my other stalker. So that guy, jeez, I'm glad he didn't get into my general. No telling what would have happened. And over here, I finally wised up, and I said, I've got to put some of these blows on the general. I put 4 of my Tomb Guard against his general. He didn't have a ward save. I rolled a 6 and got through and did killing blow on his general. So that was great. And we finished up that combat, and I ended up, after casting spells, and I have the banner of the Undying Legion in here, I raised back 2 of my ranks. So even though he did 2, and he did 2 more wounds to her, and did another wound to the Hero Titan, I killed enough. I won combat, I think, by 2, and he needed a 6, and he rolled an 8, and I ran down his Black Orcs. And that ended the game. It was getting late. We were playing outside, and it was getting late. You can see the light is kind of fading on us, a fuzzy picture. But it was a fun game. It was close. It was definitely not one-sided. I was having to use some tricks and redirecting and things like that to keep him out of my backfield. The Wyvern taking that hit and running away was so key to victory here. I'm not going to say if that hadn't worked, he would have won, but it would have been a totally different game, and he very well could have won. My casket would have been in trouble. The catapult definitely would have been gone. So, yeah, very, very good shot with that catapult running the Wyvern off. It was a fun game. The Orcs and Goblins gave me a run for the money. This Black Orcs held up just amazingly well. Maybe not have been that way if I'd gotten my General's unit in as well, if they hadn't failed the charge. But still, they did incredible, and those Black Orcs are tough. So, yeah, that does it. That wraps it up. It was a victory for the Tomb Kings. I lost my both units of Horse Archers. Would have lost my catapult this turn. And the Stalkers got wiped out by his K-Squig. So, jeez. Yeah, but it was a good time, fun game, and hopefully I'll get some more up. Things are starting to calm down, and I'm able to get some time out and go do some things. So, yeah, I hope you enjoyed it, and I look forward to doing another one. Also, if you haven't already subscribed, go ahead and subscribe and like the video, and share it by all means. That helps a lot. When you share a video, I've noticed that every time you share, I pick up 3 or 4 more subscribers. And that is great, not only for my channel, but for my business. People see the stuff and all that. It gets them looking at my other videos where I actually paint my stuff. And I pick up more work. So share my videos. I really appreciate that. My stuff and a lot of my bat reps aren't painted because I'm always painting other people's stuff. I've started where I take one day a week to work on my own, but um, yeah, when I was a mechanic for 13 years, and I never worked on my own car either. So yeah, it's coming around. I'm getting stuff painted. I'm catching up, but um, like and share it. Also, check out my page on Facebook. Look up Unleashed Wargaming on Facebook, and I have a lot of pictures and a lot of things. Going to possibly start putting tutorials up on there as well. And yeah, I appreciate it, and thank you very much.